So a bit of playing around. Threw carburetor on there. It's an AVS1. Check valve, fuel pressure gauge, and switched over to a manual choke. It's warm right now. It fires right up at a cold temp, so I'm going to have to check. Fires right up, but I don't like the choke too much, so I leaned it out just a touch. I went in half a turn on both the jets, and then I went back a quarter, so it's a quarter turn lean from where it was, and it's warm-ish right now. So you can see that gauge. There you go. It's warm-ish right now. Oh, wherever. So fires right up. Choke's completely open right now. Yes, I have an exhaust leak. Thinking right off the side. I think the gasket's completely gone. See it? Backfiring right there. I'm missing that gasket. No backfiring off the carb. So I'm right on the edge of lean and not too lean. A little bit of fluttering. 19, 18, a little bit of fluttering going on. A little bit of a high idle too. Probably turn that down just a touch. Got at least 3 exhaust leaks. I'll tackle that next. I'm at a little bit of diesel still. So it's right on the edge of lean and not too lean. But my next thing is we got these. I mean, what can I say? That's yeah. So before I start really hit my head, before I start taking this thing for test drive, I want to play around with these. The other side's not much better. Basically, they're damn near cracked in half. So I got some new hangers and some new shackles, new U-bolts. Some nice thick perches or swing things and a whole bunch of grinding wheels. That's this project. And then once that's on and I get a couple test drives in, God, I hate to admit it, but I can't stand this exhaust, so yeah, that's coming out. So yeah. Oh, I gotta sand. This is warmish. I don't know how accurate that gauge is. So, yeah. She says it's holding 3, but it does drop. Over about 12 hours, it did drop to 0. But then in the morning, when I fired it up this morning, it was like 30 degrees, and it fired right up. But then it was just a touch rich because it didn't want to run until the choke was 3/4 throttle. So I leaned it up just a quarter, and it's close. It's real close. So Being I really want to drive this thing in, I mean, it's nice as hell out right now. It's 50 degrees, and this is the very end of November. So I want to really park this thing outside in negative like 10, negative 20 weather, but I'm just a tad rich. So I think that'll be alright for when it does get down to the negatives. It'll still fire up easy enough, and if it runs just a tad rich, I'll be okay. Like I'm saying, I still gotta get those. Next step is to actually get this thing down the road and do some load testing on it, because you can rev it in the driveway all I want, but the next step is, and these brakes look good on the inside. I just was there, so I played around. It's a lot easier with the wheel off. So I'm gonna cut these U-bolts right off. I gotta cut that off, or remove these bolts, grind that shackle down, remove that hanger completely, that junk hanger, remove those shackles completely, cut these U-bolts out, and just take your Sawzall and cut them out, and then they should drop right down. I should be able to just get one side cut and it should drop out. Gotta watch my brake line, of course, and then these can just go right in the scrap. Throw the new stuff on. New longer U-bolts. Bit longer than I needed, but you'd rather be a little bit longer. Oh, come on now. So they're a tad longer, like an inch. I gotta be right about here, so it's like an inch and a half longer. I don't reuse U-bolts, but I'd rather be an inch longer than an inch shorter. How about that? So, yeah. Obviously the rear end's all done. So, it's getting there. It does have a newer muffler on it, but I don't know what I'm doing with this exhaust at this point. Right now, I got to do some load testing on it. Take it up and down the road. Man, I hope I get another day like today where I can actually test this thing out when it's not snowing out, but I'll see. That's this weekend's project. Play around replacing these sketchy shackles and leaf spring connections. The leaf springs don't look horrible. I mean, they don't look great. I will replace the leaf springs eventually. I just don't want to do it right off the bat. They're still okay. This hanger's okay. No rust on this hanger. It looks healthy enough, so I ain't gonna touch that hanger right now. But yeah, that's, you can see it. I got it completely rusted all the way through on the bottom here. Here you go. Look at that. So, I mean, there's not much holding this. That's kind of super sketchy. So, there you go. Completely through. It's to the point I really don't want to take it for too many test drives, and I still got a brake in the rear, so I'm not beating on it, but I do want to take it down the road, get it up to like 45, do a couple take off from stop signs and such and slow downs and just check everything out. But next step is these, because if this goes, I'm not gonna have a real fun day. I mean, the shackle itself doesn't look too sketchy, but I'm here. Why the hell not? So do the shackle. I'm gonna do the leaf springs later. I don't know how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 1. So they're pretty heavy duty and they're not cheap. So yes, I'm doing the shocks. Shocks are actually pretty good at this point. They're not leaking, so run it this year. I'll play around with the shocks later. But yeah, those shackles are sketch. So let's do those before they cause me to actually have an incident. And if you ever done it or seen it done, it is a fun job. There will be select words. So yeah. But I did already go through when I pulled the bed off, and the bed's junk, folks. But when I pulled the bed off, I went through and hit these with a real light grinder and removed a buttload of scale and hit it with just with some spray paint. But hopefully that means I won't have this side's almost worse. Look at big old finger through there. Yeah, I mean, let's not take that down the road. I mean, there's my thumb. That's not good. There's 2 fingers. That's not good. I mean, it's rusted through on this side too. So I mean, there you go. So I mean, what do I got? A 1/4 inch there, and about a 1/4 inch there. Honing it on, and yeah, not much. And the shackle is not much better. So let's get that done. This side cracked all the way through here. Oh, cracked right to there. So yeah, won't be no problem throwing these in the scrap pile. So yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to use the leaf springs, and I've been soaking for a couple days. I'm gonna hit these with a big old breaker bar and pray they come loose without too much of a headache. They've been soaking for a couple days. I'm hoping they're going to not fight me too much. Basically, if I can get this bolt out, screw this bolt. I don't even need this bolt. I'll cut the shackle. But if I can get this bolt out, I'll cut the shackle from there. I don't care. And that'll give me access to these rivets, and I'll just cut these rivets completely out. And if I get lucky, I'll be able to pop that out. But that's what's next. Is I gotta get these 2 big old bolts out, and hopefully I can, yeah, play around with that. But that's where I'm at. Little update. Getting closer. I'm obviously gonna have to wait on exhaust. I'm not gonna wait on exhaust, but I'm going to try driving this thing as it is, all pop, 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 and loudy and such. But yeah, oh, we're getting there. So yeah, the bed, where is it? 4 bolts, because the bed's probably not staying on here. You guys can see the condition of the bed. It's not beautiful. So yeah, these, I don't know what that is. At least a 1/4. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, I'll play around with these, and there's your little update, making it a little bit safer. How about that? Guys, have fun.